I sat down with a group of young children and asked them one simple question. What is your superpower? What do you love doing? And you know what? Not one single one of them mentioned screen time. Not one. They mentioned physical things like running or jumping on the trampoline. They loved social games like football, chatting with their friends, and other social family outings with grandparents, uncles, aunts. And they absolutely wanted the freedom to choose whatever was coming next. And that really stayed with me. When we hand a child a tablet, we assume the screen is what pulls them in. But ask them what they truly love, and the screen is nowhere in sight. Children don't dream about screen time. And that got me asking a much bigger question. What if screens are not the problem we think they are? Are they the cause of what we worry about, or a symptom of something much bigger? Think about how childhood has changed. When I was small, a few decades ago now, I remember playing outside, riding my bike up and down the street for hours, getting to know all the children that lived there. And that time outside has shrunk for many reasons. Cars are moving faster, there's more awareness around child protection and keeping children safe. That's become the priority, and rightly so. I wouldn't have it any other way. And each of these changes is sensible on its own, but put them all together and they push children indoors. And indoors, the screen is waiting. Ever notice the meltdown the second you turn the screen off? Well, here is what is really going on. Young children learn best from slow, steady, predictable moments. Their brains and their nervous systems need that pace. So, for example, when you read a book with a child, you turn the page one at a time. When you stack blocks and watch them topple. When you help bake a cake and stir the flour, egg and milk together to watch it thicken. Nothing is jumping out, nothing flashes. Your child's brain has time to guess what's coming next. And that feeling of knowing what's coming next keeps their body calm. Now picture a lot of screen content. The screen cuts every couple of seconds. There are bright colours, loud sounds, a new surprise before the last one has even landed. And for a young nervous system, that is a flood on their senses. Their brain is racing to try and keep up. And then you switch the screen off and the room feels flat by comparison. That gap between the rush of senses and the flat is where the meltdown happens, because your child is finding it difficult to adjust their nervous system to try and land in a safe place again. When I talk about screen time, I mean passive watching. Vast content that asks nothing of your child. But a camera your child uses to notice the world around them, a programmable toy they plan and test with, that is active, that is creative. Same screen, completely different thing. Here is the hardest parenting tip I'll ever give you. Let your child be bored. First, I'm not asking anyone to ban screens, just to find a bit of balance. A gentle screen routine so your child knows what to expect. Screens off at the table so meal times are for talking. screens off before bed so the evening stays calm. But the big one is boredom. Why do we rush to try and fill it? Try sitting with it instead. When a child has nothing laid on for them, their imagination starts to stir. Some of the best play I've ever seen began with an empty afternoon and an empty cardboard box. Underneath all of it sits one idea: trust. When we trust children to play and give them the space to show us, then the screen loses its pull. The full blog on my ideas is in the link below.